I know my 80s and 90s babies are looking at this picture right now and they know exactly who these characters are and what TV show they're from. But this one right here in the middle, that's Dustin Diamond, but you probably know him as Screech off Saved by the Bell. He was a geeky, kind of nerdy, but super lovable character. But unfortunately, 4 years ago this month, Dustin Diamond's life was cut tragically short at the young age of 44. If we're just now meeting, hello, my name is Stacy. I'm a paramedic and EMS educator, and also the creator of this series called Celebrity Deaths and EMS Perspective. As a teacher, I'm always looking for unique and different ways of delivering education, and that was the inspiration behind this series. Although these cases are super unfortunate and tragic, I believe as EMS providers, we can learn from each and every one of them. Because Saved by the Bell was such a well-known sitcom, Dustin Diamond did spend most of his childhood in the spotlight. He did, however, face some turbulent times, just like most childhood stars, after he exited that world. He tried to audition for more serious roles, however, it was hard to kind of picture him as any other character except this sweet, lovable nerd that he had played on Saved by the Bell. Unfortunately, throughout that time period, he faced personal and legal issues. He even faced financial issues, which forced him to kind of auction off some of his memorabilia that he had. He went on to write a book in 2009 where he took a deep dive into some of the behind-the-scenes stories that the Saved by the Bell characters had going on. And it probably goes without saying that was not received well by everyone. So fast forward to October 2020, Dustin Diamond notices a small lump on his neck, and he actually didn't immediately seek out medical attention, and there's a couple of reasons reported as to why he didn't. One of those reasons is public scrutiny. He worried about people taking pictures of him, pictures being in the press, making fun of him, and that sort of thing. But also, this was a peculiar time in history because it was 2020 and the pandemic, and it wasn't as easy to just walk into a hospital or clinic and get checked out. In early 2021, he finally went out and sought the medical attention that he so desperately needed. And this was not only because his girlfriend and loved ones urged him to do so, but also he was not feeling well. He arrived at the hospital in excruciating pain and having severe difficulty breathing. And it was quickly determined that that lump was actually cancer. And by that time, unfortunately, the cancer had spread and Dustin would die within weeks of his diagnosis. The type of cancer that Dustin was diagnosed with is called small cell carcinoma, and it's actually a rare type of cancer. It only makes up a small percentage of the cases of lung cancer, and the unfortunate part of it is it usually goes undetected until it spreads to other parts of the body. And with Dustin, it went undetected until it spread to the lymph node and it caused a lump. Some of the things that cause the type of cancer that Dustin had are smoking, secondhand smoking, exposure to radiation, asbestos, and other chemicals. Also, a family history of lung cancer, which I couldn't find anything stating that he did. I know his mom had breast cancer, but those two typically aren't connected. HIV can also be a contributing factor, but there was no reported diagnosis of this in Dustin's past. I did read that there was some speculation by people close to Dustin that the different places he had stayed in, like hotels he had stayed in for his acting gigs growing up, could have contributed to this condition, but honestly, we'll never know. Patients diagnosed with small cell carcinoma may seek out chemotherapy or other treatment options, but most likely the survival rate is usually under 1 year. And it seems as though Dustin probably waited until he had other organ compromise before he sought medical attention. And as for an EMS perspective, undiagnosed or diagnosed lung cancer can present the same: hypoxia, respiratory compromise, altered mental status, and even pain, like in Dustin's case. And in the back of the ambulance, we obviously can't treat the cancer itself, but we can treat the symptoms. So we can manage an airway, we can administer oxygen, we can also give some type of pain control or analgesic, and we can monitor for complications like a pulmonary embolism or even pneumonia. Dustin's case also highlights a need for routine health screenings and to listen to your body. Would this have changed anything in his case? Most likely not, but we will never know. Despite his struggles, Dustin Diamond left a lasting impact on 90s television fans, and although he may no longer be with us, he will forever be remembered by his sweet, lovable character Screech on Saved by the Bell.